Thank you for clicking on this video. Today I'm going to talk about, or continue talking about, how to deal with like different, on the spot, like hardware, whether it's a hardware issue or software issue. So let's so because computer systems is a combination of hardware and software. Only problems you're going to have will be related to either hardware or software. Yet determining the specific source is an art form. People who troubleshoot computers for a living follow three general rules to diagnose such errors. If the problem is consistent, it's probably software. If the problem is inconsistent, it's probably hardware. If the problem is with the PC's firmware, good luck with that. Well, it's sometimes it's a bit difficult. A lot of times it's difficult to deal with those type of issues. You're probably used to this ambiguity when it comes to technology. Though these three axioms, or these three statements I just read out to you guys, are worthy to follow. So always keep that in mind when troubleshooting, trying to figure out what could be causing the problem. It also helps you narrow down in your troubleshooting, which aspect to concentrate on in order to find out what's going on with whether it's hardware or software. Dealing with software issues, software problems are predictable. If the backup program won't run as scheduled, that's a consistent issue in program itself, or task scheduler is to blame. If Word always crashes when you try to print, that's a software issue, not anything to do with the printer. Software issues with a program, bugs are fixed by the software developer. You can remember these couple of things. So you can check the developer's web page for updates and support information, but you cannot resolve the problem on your own, other than to avoid the feature that doesn't work. Software controls the hardware. Software drivers need updated from time to time, and even the update could be a problem. Could be the problem. Oftentimes a new update can be released, and I've had instances where I had to uninstall the new update, and because the computer stopped working. How to solve hardware issues, or how to go about solving hardware issues. Solving hardware issues. The most obvious sign that hardware is to blame occurs when the device doesn't work. In that case, replace it. All hardware on a PC is component replaceable. So if you need a new power supply, you buy a new one. You can even install it yourself. If you're handy with a screwdriver, don't mind risking death by opening the PC case. For peripherals, you can troubleshoot by swapping out a suspect device when with one that works. For example, if the keyboard is acting funky, attach another keyboard and see whether the problem persists. If not, the original keyboard is defective and replace it. The only time hardware swapping doesn't work is with a laptop, because the laptop's hardware is integrated. You can't readily swap out a keyboard or replace a power supply. That's why it's recommended a full warranty on the laptop. Always have a full warranty. Well, just in case parts go bad, if it's under warranty, you can send it over to you have it repaired by the manufacturer. It comes in handy. Yes, you can replace any hardware on your PC, though at some point you must consider when to just get a new one. A new one. So, like, over time, the computer will become slow, generally within 5 to 6 years, from my experience. And you'll have to, software will start lagging, start giving you problems, and some of the hardware won't work. So you'll have to go back, and the computer will become really slow, crash often and stuff. So good to go out there and buy a new one, if that is the case. Even the hard drive can be replaced. Always ensure that you have a fresh backup handy, and you've created a system recovery disk. I'll go how to create a system recovery disk in a later video. Okay, so what's firmware? So hold up. The term firmware applies to an array of chips on the PC's motherboard. These chips provide basic technology for the PC. In a way, the firmware is a PC's personality, giving it features such as graphics, sound, networking, and basic input and output functions. Because the firmware chips are integrated with the motherboard, you can't easily replace them. Further, the firmware controls so many aspects of the PC's basic hardware that a firmware bug would be near impossible to catch. Some motherboard manufacturers sell diagnostic tools that let you check the firmware's status. Even then, the firmware is suspect. You must choose between replacing the entire motherboard or buying a new PC. Neither option is inexpensive. It's expensive to do both. So, if your your motherboard, you suspect that that's causing the issue, you'll have to replace it or get it replaced by the manufacturer. If it's out of warranty, then you'll have to do it yourself. And that's never an easy thing to do, and it's best to leave it to professionals, and it's very expensive. You'll have to end up buying a new computer. Okay, so when to give up? Well, you've tried everything, and when to just like throw in the towel and let someone else, a professional hand in, take care of the repairs. You've tried your best. You did everything. You read blogs and watched videos and stuff. Went through all the walkthroughs, but yeah, if your computer refuses to, or the computer doesn't fix any of the problem that you're trying to fix on your computer, and at that point you just have to throw in the towel and give up. And so, hold on, let me just 1 minute. Before you give up, try some quick fixes such as restarting the PC or using the system restore utility. If your tool chest of quick fixes doesn't work, turn to the internet to pose questions. Search for solutions there on forums and stuff. You might not be the only one who's ever had the same problem. So computer repair places still exist in the real world. So they're not cheap, but often they'll fix your problem faster and with less frustration than you'd experience working on your own. And yes, this book offers plenty of suggestions, tips for fixing the most common PC problems, as well as advice on how to deal with just about any computer problem. So finally, at some point, you must accept that you'll get a new computer. The typical PC has a lifespan of anywhere from 4 to 6 years, 5 years, more if you treat it well. After that time, however, given advances in technology, buying a new computer is a worthy investment. Later video, I am going to go over how to go with some common fixes. How to fix common PC problems. Thank you for watching this video. I'll be back shortly with another video. Thank you.